What if I told you that right now, as you're watching this video, there's a 40% chance you'll experience a heart attack alone? No one around, no one to call for help, just you. And here's what's even more shocking. Most people over 60 who survive a heart attack when they're alone do one simple thing differently. They knew exactly what to do in those critical first 5 minutes. Today, I'm going to share something that could literally save your life. 7 specific actions that emergency room doctors wish every person over 60 knew. These aren't complicated medical procedures. They're simple steps anyone can remember. You know, last week I received a message from Margaret in Ohio. She's 67 years old. She wrote to me because her husband survived a heart attack while she was at the grocery store. He was completely alone for 23 minutes, but he's alive today and thriving, because he remembered 3 simple things we're going to talk about today. Now, I want you to understand something important. This isn't about scaring you, it's about preparing you. Because here's the truth that most doctors won't tell you straight out. After age 60, your risk of having a heart attack doubles every decade, but your chances of surviving one, they can increase by up to 80% if you know what we're about to discuss. So whether you live alone, spend time by yourself during the day, or you just want to be prepared, these next few minutes might be the most important investment you make in your health this year. And please, if you know someone over 60 who lives alone or spends significant time alone, share this with them. It could make all the difference. Tip 1. The cough that could save your life. Let's start with something that sounds almost too simple to be true. But emergency doctors call it the poor man's CPR. If you feel your heart suddenly racing, skipping, or you experience crushing chest pain while alone, start coughing. Hard, deep coughs, like you're trying to clear your lungs of water. Here's why this works. When you cough forcefully, you're actually squeezing your heart. Each cough creates pressure in your chest that helps keep blood flowing to your brain. It's like manually pumping your heart. I remember reading about Tom from California, 72 years old. He was watching TV when he felt that crushing sensation in his chest. His wife was visiting their daughter 3 states away. Tom remembered this coughing technique from a health seminar. He coughed hard every 2 seconds while crawling to his phone. The paramedics said those coughs probably kept him conscious long enough to call for help. Now this isn't a cure, it's a bridge. It buys you precious seconds or minutes to get real help. Practice it now while you're healthy. Take a deep breath. Cough hard. Feel that pressure in your chest? That's what could keep you conscious when every second counts. Tip 2. The aspirin secret doctors want you to know. Here's something that might surprise you. That little bottle of aspirin in your medicine cabinet? It's one of the most powerful heart attack tools you have. But most people use it wrong when it matters most. If you think you're having a heart attack, chew 1 regular aspirin immediately. Don't swallow it whole, chew it. Even if it tastes terrible. Why chewing? When you chew aspirin, it enters your bloodstream in about 5 minutes. Swallowing it whole? That takes 20 minutes. And in a heart attack, every minute counts. The aspirin helps prevent the blood clot that's causing your heart attack from getting bigger. It literally starts dissolving that clot while you wait for help. But here's what most people don't know. Keep aspirin in multiple places. Your nightstand, your car, your purse or wallet, your kitchen. Because when a heart attack strikes, you might not be able to walk to your bathroom medicine cabinet. Sandra from Texas told me she keeps aspirin in a small container on her keychain. Smart woman. She said, "Dave, keys go everywhere I go. So does my emergency aspirin." One important note though, if you're allergic to aspirin or your doctor has told you not to take it, this doesn't apply to you. Talk to your doctor about alternatives. Tip 3. The phone technique that saves lives. Now this next tip might sound obvious, but there's a specific way to use your phone during a heart attack that dramatically increases your chances of survival. First, don't call a family member. Don't call your neighbor. Call 911 immediately. I know that sounds harsh, but here's why. Your son or daughter might panic. They might give wrong advice. They might waste precious minutes asking questions. Emergency operators are trained for exactly this situation. But here's the part most people don't know. Put your phone on speaker immediately. Why? Because you might lose consciousness, and the operator needs to hear you breathing. They can send help even if you can't talk anymore. Also, if you can, unlock your front door right away, or tell the operator where a spare key is hidden. Paramedics waste precious minutes breaking down doors. Robert from Michigan, 68 years old, had a heart attack last year while his wife was at book club. He managed to call 911, put the phone on speaker, and unlock his door before collapsing. The operator heard him fall and stayed on the line, guiding paramedics straight to him. Those extra seconds saved his life. Here's a practical tip. Program your local emergency number as a favorite or speed dial. Some smartphones let you call emergency services even from the lock screen. Learn how to do this on your phone today. Not tomorrow. Today. Tip 4. The position that helps your heart. Most people think lying flat is best during a heart attack. They're wrong, and this mistake could make things worse. The best position? It's called the W position. Sit on the floor, lean back against a wall, bend your knees up, and let them fall slightly apart. Like you're making a W with your legs. Why does this work? This position reduces the strain on your heart. It helps blood flow more easily, and it prevents you from falling and hitting your head if you lose consciousness. But here's the really important part. Never lie completely flat unless you've already lost consciousness. Lying flat makes your heart work harder to pump blood throughout your body. Mary from Florida learned this the hard way. She had her first heart attack at 64. She instinctively lay down flat on her bed. She told me later I felt like I was drowning, couldn't breathe. When she sat up against her headboard with her knees bent, her breathing improved immediately. If you can't get to the floor safely, sit in a chair and lean forward slightly. Rest your arms on your knees. This also reduces heart strain. And here's a detail nobody mentions. Loosen any tight clothing. Your belt, your collar, your bra if you're a woman. Anything that restricts breathing or blood flow. Every little bit helps. Tip 5. The breathing trick that calms your heart. When your heart's in distress, your breathing becomes your lifeline. But panic makes us breathe wrong, which makes everything worse. Here's what you do. Breathe in slowly through your nose for 4 counts. Hold for 4 counts. Breathe out through your mouth for 4 counts. It's called box breathing, and paramedics use it themselves in high-stress situations. This does 2 critical things. First, it ensures oxygen keeps flowing to your heart and brain. Second, it activates your parasympathetic nervous system, which naturally slows your heart rate. I heard from James in Canada. He's 71 now. 2 years ago, he had a heart attack while walking his dog in a remote area. No cell phone signal. He sat against a tree and focused entirely on this breathing pattern for 15 minutes while his dog ran home. His wife saw the dog alone and called for help. James says that breathing technique kept him calm and conscious until help arrived. But here's what makes this even more powerful. Practice it now, while you're healthy. Every night before bed, do 5 rounds of box breathing. Make it automatic, because when you're having a heart attack, you won't be thinking clearly. But your body will remember what it's practiced. Some people count on their fingers. Breathe in, thumb to pinky. Hold, thumb to pinky. Breathe out, thumb to pinky. It gives your panicking mind something concrete to focus on. Tip 6. The warning signs. Nobody talks about. Here's something that might save your life. Heart attacks in people over 60 often don't look like the movies. No dramatic chest clutching, no sudden collapse. For many seniors, especially women, the signs are subtle. Unusual fatigue that's been building for days, jaw pain that feels like a toothache, nausea that seems like food poisoning, back pain between your shoulder blades, even just feeling off or having a sense of doom. Barbara from Australia, 66 years old, thought she had the flu. Felt nauseated, tired, a bit short of breath. Her daughter convinced her to go to the hospital. She was having a heart attack. The doctor said if she'd waited another hour, she might not have made it. Here's what you need to remember. If something feels wrong, especially if you have multiple subtle symptoms, don't wait. Take that aspirin. Call for help. It's better to be embarrassed than dead. And listen to this. Women over 60 are more likely to have these subtle symptoms than men. They're also more likely to dismiss them. Don't be that person. Your body is trying to tell you something. Write this down or save this video. The subtle signs: unusual fatigue, jaw pain, nausea, back pain, shortness of breath, feeling of doom, breaking out in a cold sweat, lightheadedness. If you have 2 or more of these, especially if they're new or getting worse, take action immediately. Tip 7. The recovery secret that starts now. This last tip is different because it's about what you do today, before anything happens. Create what I call a heart attack action card, a simple index card with vital information. Keep one in your wallet, one on your refrigerator, one in your car. What goes on it? Your medications and doses, your allergies, your emergency contact, your doctor's name, any heart conditions you have, your blood type if you know it. But here's the part that really matters. At the bottom, write these exact words: I am having a heart attack. Please help me. In large, clear letters. Why? Because when you're having a heart attack, you might not be able to speak clearly. You can just point to those words. George from London had one of these cards. He was 69 when he had his heart attack in a grocery store. He couldn't speak, but he pulled out his card and pointed. The store manager knew exactly what to do. Called 911, got him aspirin from the pharmacy aisle, kept him calm until help arrived. Also, talk to your family about these 7 tips. Practice them together. Make it a conversation at Sunday dinner, because preparing together means you're all more likely to remember when it matters. Now here's something most doctors won't tell you, but it's incredibly important. If you survive those critical first minutes of a heart attack, your mental state becomes crucial. Studies show that people who remain hopeful, who picture themselves recovering, actually have better outcomes. So while you're waiting for help, after you've done everything we've talked about, tell yourself this: I am doing everything right. Help is coming. I will survive this. It sounds simple, maybe even silly, but your mind is powerful. Panic releases stress hormones that make your heart work harder. Calm determination does the opposite. Nancy from New York, 70 years old, told me she repeated her grandchildren's names while waiting for the ambulance. I'm going to see Emma graduate. I'm going to dance at Michael's wedding. She says it gave her strength when she needed it most. Look, I know we've covered some heavy topics today, but here's what I want you to remember. Knowledge is power, and now you have power that you didn't have 15 minutes ago. These 7 tips aren't complicated. Cough hard, chew aspirin, call 911 on speaker, get in the W position, use box breathing, know the subtle signs, have your action card ready. You don't need to be afraid. You need to be prepared. And now you are. Remember, every second counts, but you have more control than you think. These simple actions can be the difference between a close call and a tragedy. If this video could help save your life or the life of someone you love, please share it. And subscribe to Wellness Explained Pro for more simple, science-backed tips to keep you strong, healthy, and independent as you age. Next week, we're talking about the 5 foods that doctors over 60 never eat, and the surprising reasons why. You won't want to miss it. Until then, I am reminding you that it's never too late to take control of your health. Stay well, my friends.